Brian Rob, J. King, and Sam Packard present Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle, Boston Celtics, Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle. Oh yeah! Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle, Boston Celtics, Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle. And a 19. Jalen Brown, D. White, Crazy Joe. Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle. With Tatum coming back. Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle. Boston Celtics, Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle. Oh yeah!
Come on, don't get to that generation. 48 guy wants to win. There's no time.
Let's go, you motherfucking Celtics. Let's go, baby. Let's go. You motherfucking Celtics. Let's go.
Let's go, baby! Welcome back to Still Potable, the best Celtics podcast on Al Gore's internet. I am Sam Jam Packard, professional sports fan, joined by the great, yes, I said it, the great Jay King from The Athletic. We are coming to you live after the Celtics' first win of the season, in which was a close game until the fourth quarter. The Celtics absolutely blow out the Pelicans in the fourth, outscoring them 35-12 on their way to a 122-90 victory. Before we get started, I just want to remind you guys that you are listening to Still Potable, part of the CLNS Media Network. Show today is brought to you by Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, Jay, there was a bit of a sticky back and forth game there until Jaylen Brown, I think, got his fifth foul. He checked out, and then bam, Celtics just took off and just basically were just raining threes and getting defensive stops left and right. What's responsible for this kind of crazy fourth quarter they had?
So they made a lot of plays kind of when they needed them. The one that stood out the most, 8-point game, 94-86. DeAndre Jordan gets a lane down the middle, right to the rim. He had dominated the Celtics in the second quarter, which is crazy. Apparently, Joe Mazzulla lit up the Celtics and told them in a huddle, like, guys, that guy was on the street 4 days ago, just got signed and is kicking your ass. And he's going in, looks like he's going to dunk it. Derek White just makes a Derek White play, steals the ball, blocks the ball, whatever, swallows the ball, goes the other way, finds Anthony Simons for a three. Simons had a big game. But that play, like, if he doesn't make it, it's a 6-point game. It's close. Instead, you deflate the other team, you go up 11, and the floodgates open from then. It was just an incredible play by Derek White. One of the plays that very few guards in the NBA can make consistently, and he does it all the time.
Yeah, and it seemed like it kind of got Simons going there. He knocked down a lot of big shots, biggest scoring performance as a member of the Celtics. I think he was a game-high 25, at least for a team-high 25 for the Celtics. But Simons had, 12 points there in the fourth quarter. He just, like, once he gets it going, he definitely seems like a strong offensive player. But I think the story of tonight was just the strong play from members of the front court. I mean, where do you want to start? I think Nemi had a great game. Garza had his best game, and Josh Minott getting the start today with a plus 42. I thought he just played solid basketball throughout this game. Whereas Nemi had stretches, Garza had some stretches, but Minott was solid from the jump, just bringing a lot of energy and being, I was going to say, playing that Hugo Gonzalez role. I don't know if we can call it the Hugo Gonzalez role because he's only done it for a game, but playing that role of just like picking up guys full court, bringing a lot of energy. And I liked him with the starting lineup of just being that kind of that energy guy surrounded by the kind of more star players.
Does Joe know that you can play both of those guys?
I don't know.
It's okay to play Hugo Gonzalez and Josh Minott both in the same game. You don't have to stagger them in games. You don't have to give them random DMPCDs after they've been good. Like, Hugo was very promising in 2 straight games. Defensively, he knows what he's doing. He gets after it, and they didn't play him at all tonight. Josh Minott was like the preseason standout. Gets a DMPCD in the second game of the season. Now he's in the starting lineup, first start of his career. Joe's got to figure that out, I think. Like, you can just play both those guys. It's okay to play them both because they both bring the energy you want and lift everybody up and can make all sorts of hustle energy plays that not everybody on the roster can make. And it was Minot's turn tonight. Don't have to take turns again, but it was Minot's turn tonight. And like literally from the first opening tip, he made an impact. He got a dunk like 2 seconds into the game rather, and had the one of the most hilarious dunks I've seen where he must have misjudged hanging on the rim.
He jumped a little bit too far away. Like he was a little bit far for that dunk on the fast break.
Yeah, just kind of fell. Was lucky not to break an arm or something like that.
Hopped right back up.
Hopped right back up. And not only hopped right back up, but then picked up, I believe it was Jordan Poole full court. Like didn't go back on defense, like just got right back into his role, which was awesome to see. That was good stuff from Minot. Maybe make sure you can hang on the rim a little better next time. Make sure you're not falling on your arms after you dunk it. But everything else tonight, he just did a really, really good job.
He feels like he has good timing crashing the offensive glass too. I think he had 2 putbacks tonight. Just making kind of the right hustle plays, and he just has got length and is maybe gambling a little bit too much in the second half. I feel like he tried some stuff on the defensive end, but I just like his length and his ability to kind of disrupt what the Pelicans were doing. That being said, this was not no Zion tonight. This is not the most talented Pelicans team. I mean, they still got Herb Jones, Trey Murphy.
They're a garbage squad with the guys they put out there tonight. It was when you got Jordan Poole and Jeremiah Fears as your backcourt. What are you going to do? Jordan Poole is the most unserious player maybe who ever lived. I used to respect Jordan Poole a lot when he was with the Warriors. He played a very different style of basketball the year the Warriors won the title than he does now. But he and Jeremiah Fears, like, you cannot have a good basketball team if that's your starting backcourt.
And so it's great that I think the Celtics were able to pull away in the fourth quarter.
And I think Fears could be pretty good, but he's a rookie still who can't shoot at all.
This was still kind of a back and forth game. And if it wasn't for the fourth quarter, I would have been coming on here blasting Joe Mazzulla for some of his rotations. Like, I just don't think the hockey sub thing is necessarily working. I mean, it's Simons and Peyton. There's like a long stretches of this game where Peyton Pritchard and Simons are the only 2 kind of like solid players on the court, and you go without Derek White and Jaylen Brown for extended stretches. Like, it felt like the Celtics were playing okay, but they were never really pulled away from this. And I'm saying that now that then they had an amazing fourth quarter, but the Pelicans are bad, and this is the exact type of game the Celtics should win. Before the fourth quarter, what was your impression of how the Celtics played, and just like the rotation of like playing 11 guys in the first quarter or first half, and one of them not being Ugo? Like, it feels like he tries a bunch of stuff in the first half and then like shrinks the rotation in the second half. And it's like, what is he looking for in that first half with that random like Chris Boucher 4 minutes?
See, I thought this was a solid effort the whole way through, except for that stretch when DeAndre Jordan was just getting what he wanted down low. Other than that, like, one of the biggest numbers, only 11 offensive rebounds for the Pelicans. Like, that's how the Celtics have to win. Pelicans only had a 28.1% offensive rebound rate, which isn't terrible, but also it's not great either. It's like pretty average. And if the Celtics can be an average defensive rebounding team, slightly above average, then that's just a huge win for this team. I thought Niemi was just energetic, chasing down rebounds, getting blocks, really making an impact. Luka Garza came in, hit some shots for the first time with the Celtics, screwed up a Peyton Pritchard assist. So looked like he was pretty sad about it. Pretty sad. Went over to Peyton.
It was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool behind the back pass.
Looked to apologize about it, but then got him an assist like 30 seconds later. I just thought, and granted, like, this is a Pelicans team that was missing a lot that probably isn't going to be any good anyway. But this is second leg of a back-to-back. Like, it's a tough trip from Detroit to New Orleans. And Jaylen Brown was banged up, had, tight hamstring. He decided to play. And I thought that was his sign, like, this is pretty urgent. Celtics need a win. Got to get off the slide because got the Cavs coming on Wednesday. After that, it's Philly, who they've already lost to in Philly, and then Houston, who could be like the worst possible matchup for the Celtics with the size and offensive rebounding that they have. That could be just a nightmare matchup for the Celtics. We will see. But I thought it was really important to get this win, and they were just solid the whole way through. Got some contributions from everybody. And like Anthony Simons too. I thought another big play was the fourth quarter. I think Poole stripped Sam Hauser and looked up court, and Anthony Simons hustled back, got the steal.
Backs. Yeah.
Yeah. And those are the plays you have to make. They didn't make enough of them against Detroit, didn't make enough of them against Philly on opening night. But today, when the game got close, they shut the door every single time.
Yeah. And I like until I'm still Simon skeptical. He's obviously doing a lot better when he's knocking down shots, but I do think, I mean, he was a -10 in the first half. And, if you think single game plus minus is bad, single half plus minus is even worse analysis. But I just didn't think his stretches so far, just in the first 4 games of the season, if you look at the on-off stats, like they just haven't been great with Simons. Like he needs to be making shots and being aggressive, but like making those plays on the defensive end, I think was pretty solid. But yeah, this is a total team performance where you got solid contributions from that bench lineup, where I think the bench has been not great. And it's just one, I think, is because it's unclear who's like what role everyone is going to play. But I did like the Minot starting and then Hauser coming in off the bench. Hauser's been, I think, pretty solid all of the year, just knocking down shots, making good defensive plays. It feels like they have a bunch of guys who could work, but they haven't. Obviously, it's early in the season. They haven't figured out the exact way to put it together. And I think this fourth quarter is definitely a good sign because Jaylen Brown checks out with foul trouble, and they just are able to go on this run with some of those bench players. But I'm still kind of skeptical of not having a Derek White or a Jaylen Brown on the court at all times.
Yeah. You know what else was a big play was when I think it was a 4-point game at the time, and Shireman just kind of like pressed up in defensive transition, came away with a like random weird hustle steal, got it over to Hauser and pushed the lead up to 7. That was just a huge play by Shireman. That was just like all he did was try a little bit and put himself into harm's way and made a play happen. And it was a big play. They just made all the big plays whenever New Orleans got close. Yeah, if you look at the numbers so far, like when Derek White entering tonight, when Derek White was on the court, the Celtics were like +4 points per 100 possessions. When he was off the court, they were -28 points per 100 possessions. And tonight they were +21 in his minutes. How much did they end up winning by? So they'd handle those much better. But it's very clear already, like Peyton Pritchard and Derek White, even when they're not shooting well, just having those guys on the court has been so important. Because Simons, I think tonight was the second half at least was like a really good showing from him, but he doesn't do as much to free up everybody, I think, as Pritchard and White do. And they just miss those guys a lot when they're not. Like this team does not have a ton of playmaking off the dribble juice, and they need those guys to do a whole lot. Pritchard with his little like attack and turn and
get into
fade
the
away
paint tonight. Yeah, he was great.
He's been really knocking those down early this season. That's a nice development.
It seems like Simons is like he's obviously a great shooter, but he's not much of a creator for other players, at least in this very, very small sample size. Whereas White, you mentioned the numbers, he hasn't shot the ball really well this entire season, but is still creating for others. He had 7 assists tonight. Peyton Pritchard had 8 assists. So those guys are kind of the straws that stir the drink. And it's been impressive to see what they can do in the kind of the bigger role and the impact they're having, even though they're not necessarily shooting as well as they wanted to.
And the Pelicans shot 33%. 33%
total
for the game. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Which is just gross. And that's kind of like, you can look at the overall defensive numbers. They don't look great because the Celtics have been terrible on the glass. If you look at first shot defense, they've been pretty good this whole season. And I think like the early signs of the defense itself are promising. They, as long as they rebound, that's going to be promising. And I thought rebounding just really set up their offense today too. Like part of the reason you get some of those Anthony Simons threes in transition, some of the Hauser threes, is because you're getting the rebounds, you're getting up in transition, you're not playing against a set defense all the time. I just thought it was it's going to be so important for this team all year to just not get trounced on the glass. You don't have to be great on the glass, just don't get trounced.
Don't be awful. And I feel like they still gave up 11 offensive rebounds, because some of the time that's just going to happen. Before we move on, I just wanted to tell you guys that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. A hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old, right, Jay King? So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. The Patriots are good again, and that's fun. You know, I've been a real casual football fan, but it's certainly more fun when the Patriots are playing well. Everyone seems to like Drake May. And so if you want to try to make some money off the surging Patriots, I highly suggest you download Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So if you want to pick more on Drake May's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, now you can pick all 3 of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. You can follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click, whether it's a friend, a celebrity, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create and the new feed tab on Prize Picks. So today, download the Prize Picks app. Go use promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. And it's good to win, Jay King. Jaylen Brown apparently coming off the court said something like, "Sweet baby Jesus." They needed this one. Like, they absolutely needed to win against this awful Pelicans team. This is the type of game that the Celtics are going to need to win this entire year. You mentioned not being awful on the glass. They just didn't have any bigs on the Pelicans this year or this game. And so you have to take advantage of these opportunities. And I thought it was just really solid to see the Celtics pull away from in the fourth quarter, because it was a kind of a back and forth game, but as soon as they put the clamps down and really committed to getting that defensive glass, and then we just saw them make threes. Like, this is the first time we saw like a hot stretch of 3-point shot making, and this kind of reminded you of the Celtics of yesteryear.
Yeah, and you know what? They didn't shoot it great. They shot 34%. Peyton Pritchard was 2 for 7 from deep. Derek White was 1 for 9. But you get some of, like, Anthony Simons goes off. Luka Garza was really like the first big to hit shots for the Celtics all season. You get, a few from Sam Hauser. You get a key one from Shireman early in the fourth when they were just getting separation. And so they got the shots from the supporting cast that feels like they've just been missing out on until now. And when your supporting cast hits shots, like it just changes things. And especially like Simons with 6 threes, he got to a place where he was just really looking for his shot. And like the one he hit on the right wing when he caught it, kind of faced up, gave a little jab step back. That's a really tough shot, but he got cooking a little bit and got confident and started knocking them things down.
Yeah, the Celtics were 6 of 12 from deep in that fourth quarter. Again, when they outscore the Pelicans 35-12.
How furious were you about Ugo not playing?
It wasn't really furious. I was just confused. Like, it just didn't make sense. And I was trying to think back, like, did he do something in the third quarter of the Pelican or the Pistons game to earn a benching? Because he really didn't play the fourth quarter of that game. He only played 18 minutes. Is it a teaching moment? It doesn't make sense for him to go from starter to DNP and for him and Minot to switch like that. And so it wasn't anger. It was just, I guess, disappointment. Like, why not just play Ugo? Like, what is it? I'm befuddled. I was utterly befuddled by it.
I honestly think Joe doesn't really know who to play, and he's going to try guys. And Ugo, for all the energy he brought, he did not score in 18 minutes the other night. So give Baylor Shireman a shot. I don't know if there's a lot of separation between Ugo Gonzalez and Baylor Shireman. I just don't. And I think Joe wants to give everybody a chance. I think part of him wants to keep everybody on their toes and let them know, like, nothing is promised this season. Truly nothing is promised. You can start one game, be benched the next, and that's just how he's going to roll this year. Is like, you have to be on your toes. You have to be energetic all the time, or else Joe could really switch something up because nothing's stopping.
Ugo didn't even get in the final minute 24 when Ron Harper Jr. got in and Jordan Walsh got in. It was like a straight, you're benched. So that's what made me think like it was a punishment for perhaps something that he did. What did you think about the random Xavier Tillman minutes? I feel like he came in for like 2 or 3 minute stretches. Is it the same thing? He's just trying to figure out the big man rotation as well, because Garza definitely showed he could do some things tonight, at least just knocking down threes. I don't know what the X-Man was necessarily showing tonight in his 6 minutes of action.
Yeah.
Two push shots. He had 2 nice push shots.
He's still probably their best defensive big. And I don't think you should banish him from the rotation. But tonight, the way that Nemi played, the way that Garza played, sort of minimizes the need for Tillman. And also, like, there's just not a real need for, like, if Zion had played, I think the Tillman matchup would have been there. You would have probably needed to play Tillman some. But without Zion playing, they did not have a physical, like, driving force that kind of required Tillman's presence out there. But I think he's played okay to start the season. It's not like he's been terrible.
Yeah,
he's been pretty good.
He's been fine. It just feels like they're just still trying to figure out the rotation. So who, like, against the Cavs, are we going to get when's the first time we're going to get a Ugo Minot all energy experience? Maybe you'll start them both, and then against the 76ers, you DNP them both. Who knows what Joe's thinking out there?
Yeah, he's got to know they can both play. It's okay to play them both in the same game. It's even okay to play them both in the same lineup. It seems like he's tried to avoid that, though, for whatever reason. Maybe he just thinks there's too much overlap with just 2 non-shooters and, like, really non-ball handlers either. Like, Ugo can dribble a little bit, but you don't really want the ball in Josh Minot's hands. And Ugo at this stage is very minimal what he can do with the ball. So that's, I'm sure, part of it as well. But you can play them both.
It can happen. It can happen, Joe.
You at least try it.
You're trying everything else out there. Any other basketball observations from this game? Celtics picking up that first win of the season. They are now 1-3.
Chris Boucher has done very little.
What do you do?
He had an incredible flop, though. Why is that?
He got overturned.
Why is that not able to, like, why are you not able to hit somebody with a flopping for that? Like, that was as flopping as flopping gets. He pretended like he got absolutely smacked in the jaw, and there was no contact whatsoever. I don't understand why the refs were not able to punish Chris Boucher for that, when there are rules to slap guys with slapping. With flopping penalties.
I imagine that he'll get a fine from the league office. Yeah, the only other,
it almost worked.
It was a call initially.
Were it not for technology, that would have worked.
Were it not for instant replay, Willie Green was pretty furious with that one and challenged it immediately. That's pretty much all I got. I mean, I don't have a lot of junk from this game. It's pretty much just locked
You're
in.
you're junkless.
I got old junk that we have not brought up yet on the pod, but I feel like we have to address it. Did you see in the Knicks game when Jaylen Brown's hairline came off on OG Anunoby's shirt?
Yeah.
What's going on there, and has he been asked about it? That feels like an Abby Chin question, and I don't know why it hasn't been asked.
I did not ask him. It would have been a weird time to ask him after they had lost their third straight game. That just feels like really not the time to bring that up.
Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night you ask Jaylen Brown about his removable hairline.
Yeah, that can't be after a loss. Just can't be. And he didn't speak before the game last night in where was it? Detroit, because they didn't have shoot around.
All right. So when do you think the next opportunity is? Do they have practice on Tuesday? Shoot around Wednesday. I don't want you to ask, but I want you to ask Abby if she will ask, because that feels like an Abby Chin question.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting play.
I did not expect to see it happen. I don't think I've ever seen it on a court. It reminded me of that old Carlos Boozer, where it looked like he sharpied his hairline on for the Bulls way back in the day. But I just felt like I wouldn't be doing my job as host for not bringing up that hairline.
So would you say you didn't do your job as host the other night when you forgot to bring it up?
That's exactly what I'm saying. But we didn't do a post game after the Knicks game, so it's my fault for being distracted by the Pistons game. That's on me. Hand up. It's still, still early in the season, still trying to get the rust out. It's not like I've been doing post game podcasts like this for 8-9 years now. I should be better, and that's on me, and I apologize. Any other observations? Any junk from you? Or are you also junkless?
I mean, I feel like I already brought up the junk. Josh Minot falling.
Well, that was on my junk list, and then you took that, and so yeah,
that was good junk. It was a weak ass fifth foul on Jaylen Brown. Alvarado just flopping. Alvarado, God bless him. Gotta appreciate a guy who's as irritating to play against as Alvarado is. But that was the ref got duped on that one. Pritchard had a couple of just really impressive offensive rebounds. There was one in the first quarter where he tracked one down on the right, or first half. He tracked one down on the right baseline and then fed.
He knew he missed it and he tracked it immediately.
Yeah,
and that one-handed pass to Nimi for the push shot.
Yeah, and then the other one when it was the end of the shot clock, he tried to hit a fadeaway over somebody, missed it, got his own rebound, put it back in. Just a very good offensive rebounder. He knows where the ball is going a lot of the time. He hunts it down. And then he just has strong hands when he gets there. He just rips it away from guys. Got to appreciate Peyton Pritchard's offensive rebounding. First quarter, I said that the one part was DeAndre Jordan's stretch in the second quarter that Celtics kind of let it get away from them. They were up big in the first quarter. Got up, I believe it was double digits. Then they got stripped for a couple breakaway baskets. All of a sudden, you let the Pelicans back in the game, let them feel good about themselves. They've just got to be better in moments like that. It didn't matter today, but stuff like that could matter against a better team than the bum-ass Pelicans.
That's my concern is when I think they let them right back in the game when the bench first checked in. And it's the bench that you bring in Garza, Shireman, Hauser, and Simons off the bench, and you do this big hockey sub. That's when they had that immediate letdown in the first quarter and kind of let teams back. That's I don't know if you should be going 9 deep necessarily in the first quarter. I think there's just a big drop off there. So that's one thing I'm looking for is how Joe handles those rotations, because you bring in 4 guys and you put them around White or you put them around Pritchard right there. I don't know. It feels like you're asking to kind of a letdown just in terms of the energy of the game and just the talent and on the court. And I think that's something they're still going to be figuring out as the season goes along.
Definitely. Yeah, it's not going to be quick for him to figure out what works best with this group. I think They've had some promising stuff from Minot. They've had some promising stuff from Ugo, but got to figure out how the whole mix works, what to do with the bench, just kind of how to be consistent with this group. Nimi has had good short roll passes in 2 consecutive games. Today, he caught it on the roll, found Derek White in the corner with a beautiful pass, just quick, bang, bang decision. White missed it, but that's the good stuff from Nimi. And he can pass a little bit. He has some vision, but plays like that more often will go a long way.
It opens up so much if you can swing that pass to the opposite corner. Like it's just everyone's collapsing on the rolling Nimi. He is a vertical threat. If he has the ability to make that pass, something I think Cornette was great at, something great Horford was great at. If he can do that, it really unlocks their offense.
Yeah, Nimi, 2 games in a row he's done that. So shout out to him. I just thought he was sharp tonight. He really made a difference. What do you have? 5 offensive rebounds? 7 offensive rebounds. 7 offensive rebounds. That's a huge number. And that was another difference for them tonight. 16 offensive rebounds. They really got after it on the glass.
They won on the margins. They had 95 shots. The Pelicans only had 84 shots. Like they created their own opportunities, whether it's through turnovers, whether through its offensive rebounding. Like those are the numbers you look at if you're trying to win on the margins and not getting completely blasted on the glass. And so that's how they're going to basically win basketball games, especially against teams like this, who just don't have the size to kind of really threaten the Celtics.
Drew is still furious. Drew is not sold after the Celtics' first win of the season. He says hockey subs and inconsistent rotations are not acceptable. Hopefully Joe figures it out quickly. We'll see. Yeah. I think he's going to have inconsistent rotations for a while now. I think that's just part of how he wants to coach this team. I think he wants everybody on their toes, on edge, and he wants everybody to realize the consequence of not bringing it. I think he wants everybody to understand that he can and will switch things up, and everybody needs to be fluid and flexible. And so I think it's not even necessarily about what a certain guy is doing. It's just he's going to change things up because he thinks that's how this team will succeed the most. And that's just part of his theme for the Celtics this year, for better or worse.
Hopefully not for worse, but we will find out. Celtics got 3 more games this week. Wednesday against the Cavs. Friday, they're coming to Philadelphia. Then a back-to-back against the Rockets, who I think are also winless this year. Still Potable will be here with you throughout it all. We're going to be talking C's throughout this entire season, so we appreciate everyone tuning in on the YouTubes, on X. If you want more bonus content, you want all of our episodes ad-free, go to patreon.com/stillpotable. Subscribe today. Join the fine people in chat who are chatting on the Patreon app throughout the game. Shout out to James Beard. His brother was sitting on the wood next to the Celtics bench. He's one of the best meme lords in chat, always creating hilarious memes. His brother was there. And so if you want to be like James Beard, you want to be like Josh B., you want to be like some of the legends, join the Patreon chat today. It's patreon.com/stillpotable. Subscribe to the YouTube. It's also Still Potable. Follow us on Twitter. We appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be back later this week with more Still Potable.
Still Potable, Still Potable. The Boston Celtics Still Potable.